Good morning, everyone. My name is Jana Abu Salha, and I am a medical student in Unhans Defense University. And I'm really proud to stand here. Is everyone's health is okay? Because in the future, if anyone's feeling tired, please don't hesitate to come to my clinic in the future. So let's begin our presentation. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, honorable ministers, vice ministers, ambassadors, and vice ambassadors. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First, allow me to express my deepest gratitude to the Ministry of Culture of the Republic of Indonesia for granting me this great honor to speak before such an esteemed gathering. It is a privilege to stand here in the presence of leaders and visionaries who dedicate their lives to shaping peace, justice, and harmony across nations. Distinguished guests, as we gather today, we are reminded that peace is not built solely through politics or agreements, but also through the power of culture. Culture is the language that unites us beyond borders. It is expressed through art, tradition, music, and food. And the way we share our humanity. And youth play a vital role in sharing culture because we are the generation that carries both the memory of our heritage and the creativity to imagine new futures. Through culture, young people can bridge divides, heal wounds, and create understanding where there was once conflict. Today, I would like to share with you some reflections of the role of youth in fostering culture and peace. And how can we transform energy, creativity, and diversity into real instruments of peace? As a beginning, let me start by saying that too often that we hear that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. But actually, I would say that this is not correct. The youth are the leaders of today. They are the architects of the future. So we should include them more in political issues, in cultural issues, because this is their future. How can we make decisions about the future without the very generation that will heritage these consequences? Ladies and gentlemen, when young people take leadership through culture, whether by creating music, telling stories, or leading community projects, they prove that leadership isn't just about age, but it's about vision. And when this vision is guided by empathy and hope, walls fall and bridges rise. Because culture is one of the most powerful antidotes to division. When people listen to each other music, taste each other food, or watch each other movies, they began to understand each other's hearts. Because there's a simple law in psychology which says, when you don't understand something fully, or when you lack knowledge of something, you actually may begin to hate it and criticize it. So in order to erase this, we must teach the youth about differences and cultural exchanges, and how can we embrace other cultures. We need to make this knowledge embedded in our hearts. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, here are some pictures of cultural exchange. We can see here the kimono dress from Japan with the Palestinian embroidery, which are a great example of cultural exchange. There is the Indonesian cuisine, which a lot of people, food is a love language across all nations. So by sharing this and by giving this message to the youth, we make sure that the future is bright again. And how can we see culture as an identity and a resilience? Because a great example of culture, I might say, is think of K-pop, bringing Korea to the world, or how cuisines introduce nations without borders. From Palestine, our kufiyya and the embroidery travels across continents, not as fashion only, but as a living symbol of solidarity, peace, and resilience. Because in Palestine, culture is so much more than a tradition. It is the heartbeat of resilience, the language of identity, and the strength and the thread that connects generations. Ladies and gentlemen, even though for people under crisis, like my own country, culture is not just something we can just use for festivals or any type of art, but it is a survival tool. It is a must for us because culture is an identity. Because it is our peaceful way of saying to the world, we are here and we exist and we will continue. Every song sung in our language, every dance performed in our tradition, every festival organized under difficulty, it is not only art, it is a peaceful resistance. It is hope and it is identity carried forward. And as you've seen, ladies and gentlemen, in this presentation I added a lot of countries, cultures, because even though my own culture is now under a war of non-existence, how can we manage, even though all of this war is happening, but I will still continue and deliver the idea that we should understand each other's cultures, because like I said, ignorance can be really problematic. Ignorance can make us hate people, things, without even trying to understand them, without even giving them a chance to speak. And this is really wrong because it is really bad when we put aspects on someone when they didn't even talk before. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say that we can use peace and culture as a tool for youth of peace builders. How? So an example, a great example of that, we have the Palestinian poet, which is Mahmoud Darwish. He says, "Through culture we live, and with words we raise the wall of hope. So the story does not break before the usurper, nor does the sky fade from our eyes." And as a conclusion of my speech about how the youth have a role in culture and fostering culture, I would like to say that culture is not only our past, but it is the language of our future shared. When young people embrace culture, they become not just citizens of their own countries, but connectors of the world. And I would like to say something as I'm standing here in front of your excellencies all. You have a great job of giving an impact to the youth because, of course, they look up to you. You give them an effect on, I want to become a leader like the leaders I see in front of me. So you need to give them the chance to speak their voices, the chance to share their voices, to give them not just slogans, but to give them actual seats in culture representing. Ladies and gentlemen, every time we share culture, we build a bridge instead of a wall. And I thank you all. I thank Indonesia for hosting this meaningful dialogue on peace. Thank you, everyone.